Okay. Okay. So there's a lot of unique news and lots over the pond. So I'd say lots of news in the UK, and we've seen that over the whole weekend too. Lots of things happening in the UK, especially since that demonic fella that they call their prime minister. Unfortunately for them, they got a prime minister a lot like the Canadian one, just an unbelievable deep stater. Okay, he's threatening to push through having the digital IDs. And well, as far as he's concerned, it's going through. But a lot of people are like, there's millions of people, 200, was it 200 million? No, that can't be, that's too many. 2 million maybe? Anyway, there's a 2 in there somewhere, but, and it was in the millions as far as I knew, who had signed a petition to the government to not have digital ID. Okay, that's just for starters. And of course, there's all the rallies going on the entire weekend, demonstrations against it. And also lots of really good people coming out against it, you know, even in their own, you know, in their own governments and ex-government peoples. I mean, it's just scary. But of course, you guys know that I believe that place was already capitulated. And there's even people calling for King Charlie Pants to step in and yank out the prime minister, which, you know, these guys are all actors, just to remind you. We got a bunch of actors playing out a part there. And I feel like the crescendo of crazy is, we're about to the crescendo. I don't know if it could get any scarier or crazier. And that's about the time the whole shift comes. And who knows exactly what'll shift it, but something's about to shift it is what I figure. But let's have a look and see if we can't see what that might be or get more details. So this is for Monday, the 29th of September. And it's saying places and people far away are more in the news than our, you know, like, and that, because I'm reading from the Haida Gwaii, I would assume it's saying North American news will be trumped. I love it that the word trumped is, you know, Trump's last name is Trump, which, look it up. In tarot cards, it means like your most important cards. And when something is trumped, it means it's overshadowed by something even bigger and more powerful. So it's really interesting that Trump has that last name. But anyway, so this is interesting. We've got the Temperance card here. So it doesn't look like an event, like there's a lot of hyped up fear, and it especially coming from, and I'm going to assume Europe and UK. Okay, things will look really scary for, so you UKers in the audience, get prepared to be detached and not take things too personally, because your news will look really bad on Monday, and it's been looking bad for a long time. In fact, people are all claiming that the UK has fallen. I feel like all of these places have fallen already, and that this will all come to a screeching halt, all these things. Remember, I've been saying that for a long time. So if you're getting really freaked out, remember I say that. Okay, so, and I'm not saying everything I'm saying is true, but I'm just saying, take a bigger perspective and take a breath, and, you know, like, things are playing themselves out, and that much I've been dead accurate on. Things aren't what they seem, and every time it hypes up into, okay, pretty much the end of the world scenario, it you know, it doesn't go that way, right? Like, think of all the times it looked like third world war was going to be announced, and things were going to go literally nuclear. Okay, then it steps back right at the last minute. Then you don't hear about it for weeks and months. Okay, so you're watching theater and they're playing you. They're playing us all. Okay, so our job is to get seasoned to that and not fall for it. Okay, so here we've got, yeah, so news, but it's generally like kind of a quiet day. It won't be as traumatic as one would expect for this time of year. Okay, like a lot of news from the UK, like I said, lots of worrisome things, and they keeping up the hype with all the things that the fraudulent governments are going to do. Okay, it's like literally like they're like, I can't even fathom anyone listening to the mainstream news and thinking that their government isn't their enemy. If you can't see that government is your enemy with the way they're presenting them, okay, there's something wrong with you, man. You are not thinking clearly, okay? Or you got some kind of a mental illness, like seriously, because it's too obvious right now. Like they're making it so obvious that you'd have to be thick, thick, thick to not pick it up, or just literally living under a rock. Okay. Yeah. So normies scared out of their wits, people that we've been calling normies. Oh yeah, I was going to stop calling them normies. Sorry about that. Let's say people that aren't watching videos like this. Okay. They're absolutely in a crescendo of freak and fear. Okay, and here we've got the Four of Cups. So towards the end of the day, just a little tidbit, okay, that gives you hope on the horizon. So this community will spot it. I doubt if these guys will, but this community will, okay? And people just on the verge of figuring stuff out, they'll spot it too. Okay, I feel like there's a little bit of hope by the end of the day here, okay? And moving you into the next day, like where you surrender the fear and go, you know what? Maybe we are going to turn this boat around. Okay. Now, I know we are going to. In my heart, I know that. I mean, you don't need to know that. You know, that's up to you to get to that place yourself. But in my heart, I know, and I'm going to manifest. We turn the boat around. Okay. And I believe in, with the cards and what they've been saying, that the boat will get turned around here right at the very last minute. And I guess they just really got to ramp up that crazy so people really get it, right? They need to get that. Who's your real enemy and what's really happening? Okay, so it does look like business as usual the way it's been going for, pretty much a couple of weeks here. That's what's going to happen Monday. Okay, now we're Tuesday, the 30th. Okay, so Monday's the 29th. Tuesday's the 30th. Let's have a look. September 30th, 2025. Oh boy, there's some ramped up something here. Judgment card, that's a big wake-up call card, where people are being woken from the dead. Okay, so something should drop that's pretty impressive and certainly, sounds like a trumpet. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really, really obvious wake up here. That's what that feels like. And then the Two of Swords. So I don't know what that means. Let's have a look. Keep looking here. What'll be underneath this will help me read this one. So we're coming from, and as you saw towards the end of the day, there's a surrender card on the last read we just did. Well, this card's kind of makes sense too. It's like, are you having trouble sleeping? I feel like we move into the 30th, having maybe not too much sleep on the 29th. So that could just be the energies, and they are really ramping up, just like Cliff said they would already. I'm already feeling the ramp up. So it is difficult to sleep all the way through the night. And I feel like a lot of people are going to feel that. Okay, so we've got that 5. So a real obvious something that'll look like war. So remember, I was just talking about war and Third World War. So whatever it is, I feel like it's a calm in the form of, and or a signaling in the form of more rhetoric around World War III. Okay, and like a big buildup around World War III, and we know they're having that meeting. I forget what day is it. Tuesday, Wednesday, but they're meeting with all those generals, okay? In the US, a whole bunch of generals are all meeting, and it's largely talked about because they don't do this unless war is happening, okay? But I got a feeling that the real war they're really preparing for has nothing to do with Russia, China, the Ukraine. I don't think it's any of those. Iran. It's none of those. It's not those kind of wars. I feel like it's a whole different kind of thing that they're having those generals all come together for. I feel like it's maybe more otherworldly, other dimensional, or spiritual. I feel like it's not going to be anything like what we've been calling war. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so with that 5, but a lot of people are going to see it as more ramp up for war. And so whatever happens here that it's talking about here, ramping up for war, and it's a political move, and some political parties coming together, looking like they're all for, getting together against another place. So again, looking like a war situation. And we've had this has been going on for at least 4 years. Jean-Claude and I have been talking about this. They keep doing this, okay? It's really interesting. I don't know why they're doing it, getting us to look and look and look again at certain situations, getting us really going down all the rabbit holes, but and maybe really looking at all the other wars that have happened in the past and how they maybe even create them, mostly in the media, like the movie Wag the Dog, right? And there's been other movies that really signal that, that technique as well, right? Keeping everybody on the edge of their seat, thinking there's war, war, war. And really, meanwhile, we're literally in one. Okay. And most people don't seem to know that. So that's fascinating to me. But anyway, so some big rhetoric around war and governments coming together and going against a certain country, maybe. But I feel like all of it is even towards the end of the day on the 30th. So that's by end of day on the 30th. All of that's already going by the wayside. They've already dropped that. Can you imagine? So they started in the day early and then drop it by end of day. And then now we've got something developing by late in the day and maybe even evening on the 30th, something around the financial market. Okay, and we've seen silver climbing and dollar a day moves on silver. And we were all told that once it hits 50 American, which we're really close to, and by the time this video goes up, I don't know where silver will be sitting, but it was about 46 and some change an ounce. And when it hits 50 an ounce, like basically, and it's already as high as it's going, already stopping the silver shorting. Okay, which apparently once that is halted and the $50 an ounce mark halts it, okay, apparently banks fail, okay, because they need to short the silver to keep faking everybody out that, all's good in the banking system. Meanwhile, the dollar's been absolutely crumbling. The US dollar, Canadian dollar, that's been for a long time, like it's almost worth, well, about half of what the American dollar is, which is outrageous. And the euro too, we're about half the euro. So it's just, we're getting plastered out there, Canada. It's like when I went to the UK, everything was literally costing me double. It's like, what? Yeah, crazy. Okay, so here we got that Queen of Pentacles, something in the financial market toward end of day, some kind of creeping in news, and they already moved away from the war rhetoric. So that's just wild. They're getting shorter with these rhetorics. They're lasting like half a day or 2 days or something. It used to be you'd have at least a weekend where it ramped it up. Okay, so now the 1st. So October 1st, that would be Wednesday. October 1st, that's what we're looking at now. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. The theater really showing its hat. So a real outing of some kind of something that'll just, I feel like something really gets outed on social media to be theater. And like it's already been the case with the Charlie Kirk thing, and then who his wife really was and all that kind of stuff. Like that whole thing stinks to high heaven of a huge psyop, likely by the White Hats, for a whole bunch of reasons, right? I've been talking about that for a week and a half, so you guys know what I'm talking about, right? But this looks like something, and it might even be more of that, but really put something to rest or really question something. Oh, maybe it's the Amelia Earhart thing. Okay, so people are really wondering about why is Trump signaling Amelia Earhart, and maybe the whole idea that her plane was lost. Maybe they knew exactly what happened to her plane, and maybe she isn't even a she. Have a look at her. Yeah, she could be a guy. But anyway, yeah, fascinating. Something gets really outed as a part of the theater and movie. I have no idea if it's any of those things I just mentioned. Right? It's not telling me what. It's just saying something's really, and we have to move away from, and this community's been really having to move away from like moon landing. I mean, that's obvious. 9/11, that's really obvious. Blah, blah, blah. All these things that supposedly happened, never happened. All of our history being fake and everything. We've had years of getting used to that. And some people have known it for years and years. Okay, but this feels like something even new to us. So it could be that Amelia Earhart or even something else. I feel like the World War II situation really needs to get dismantled. I think a lot of that was BS, right? Right. That'll be ugly. Anyway, I don't know what it is, but something comes out that even this community is like, whoa, now we're gonna dismantle that. Yeah. Okay. But otherwise, not any big events here, not really seeing big events. But early in the morning here, we're coming out of this. So some kind of something drops legally. So maybe we hear about more indictments. Yeah, some kind of wake up call legally. So maybe they're signaling more people that are indicted, or they've uncovered more of those, because we know there's thousands and thousands of indictments just waiting to be revealed. Maybe they'll reveal even more of them. And we know that recently they've revealed some of them. So yeah, the people are on the edge of the seat with arrest, anticipation, right? Okay, so here we've got the Ace of Cups. So the near future, the Ace of Cups. So by the end of the day, the normies have some kind of a feel-good story, or the regular folks. I really did want to not call them normies, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So the non-truther types, okay, they're by the end of the day, some kind of feel-good story, or some kind of, it could even be more about the med beds, like that AI video that got put up on Truth Social, I believe it was, looking like it came from Trump himself, but then was taken down right away. So leads me to believe, and I haven't looked into this yet, guys, but I'll be doing that tomorrow, Monday, on my regular scheduled world news. I'm going to for sure have that as one of the questions. But I mean, maybe we're talking about that situation, right? Like, what did he really mean by putting up that video? Or did he really put it up? Like, did somebody else put it up? Anyway, because a lot of people are sitting around really depending on med beds. And that sounded really fake to me. And it did look really AI. And it didn't sound like Trump's voice, really, to me. Okay. But who knows, right? Maybe he's putting out a trial balloon to see what people think. Or, you never know what they're really up to. And it's not really Trump doing it. It's a brand. So it's a whole psychological exercise, and I feel like it tests the water, tests us. Watch the video that Mark Atwood put out talking about it. He has some good points, and I don't know if I shared it on the channel, but I definitely shared it on my socials. Okay, so here we've got the Fool and the Lovers. Okay, so the Fool and the Lovers. Okay, possibly one of the governments gets completely hijacked, or like by the end of the day, I feel like, I don't know if that could be France, because they're so close to just tearing down that Macron guy, or it could be the UK, because there's so many things going up against that Starmer fellow. Is it time for one of those guys to come down? I feel like some government person, and it's likely in the UK. I just get a feeling about that. Over the water is what I get a feeling of. So over the pond, as they say, it'll be one of those guys, and it'll be a government, like, where he just gets outed so bad that there's no coming back from it. And Starmer's looking really like a good candidate for that. Okay, so that's a pretty big day on the first. Some major arcanas and an ace there, but could be exciting, but I don't think it's what we're thinking is a big event, as big as, to spike the emotional as high as it's going to spike. Let's have a look at, but it could be the building tension around it. Okay, now we're going to look at the 2nd. So Thursday, the 2nd of October. Oh, starting off with the major arcana. Oh boy, oh boy. These are the kind of cards you're looking. Oh boy. Okay, 3 major arcana so far. Oh my goodness. Okay, wow. Okay, a lot more people are aware or yelling for their freedom. Okay, a lot more people are realizing their freedom's being taken away, and they're starting to say, well, we don't want that. This could be about getting a really strong, somebody's going to really clamp down on, and I think make a bad move in their government or policies. Of course, they've all been doing that on purpose. I feel like they've been given the script to do that, let's say. But somebody's going to take a really strong stance and use strong language, a government group, and in one of these capitulated government, yeah, and they'll look really like they'll do a really bad no, where people will absolutely and it wakes up a whole bunch of people. So we get a big wake up call in a move by a government here, and even Trump will likely weigh in on it. Maybe not that day, but in the near future. So somebody really doesn't know. I'm thinking it's probably Starmer. All of this is feeling like the UK is really going to get some big attention here. So I'm going to just say that because it's not telling me who does that, but somebody really gets really steps in it, let's say, with that devil. And so much so that even the sleepers are woken up and went, what? No way. So it's probably further taking moves towards, even though all of these people are against that digital ID, making it look like, nope, we're rolling it out anyway, kind of thing. Some kind of big move like that, the strength card, but devil move that nobody's going to like. Okay. Somebody takes a big move and really puts themselves on the map for being a scumbag. Well, that could be any one of them, frankly. Any one of the governments. They're all in line for that. Australia, New Zealand, all of them. Okay, let's have a look at the 3rd now. So this is Friday. So we looked at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now Friday, the 3rd. Let's have a look. Oh boy, we got an ace. Oh, 2 aces. Oh boy, oh good. I'm so excited. Oh boy. Okay, and the Wheel of Fortune. So a big turnaround. Something was going in a certain direction, and then it gets slammed around quite the opposite way. For the good. Okay, so maybe we even see a whole. They're going to push that. I'm just giving scenarios, and I'm not saying it's this for sure. I'm just giving a scenario, but something feels as big as something like Starmer trying to push through that digital ID, everyone yelling and screaming about no, and all these stories going around about what that would look like and how China looks, them having done it. And I feel all of a sudden something comes to a screeching halt or really gets challenged and turns it all around to the joy and celebration of. So something comes to a screeching halt that looked like it was going to go ahead. and it was something no one wanted, and then all of a sudden the humans get their way and there's cause for celebration. So something gets slammed down, and it could even be legally. So I don't know if it's that or something else but there's so many things that could be when you think about it, right? So many things that could be. So that looks like a really exciting day, but none of this looks to me like it's as big as, so we're like, as the week goes on, it looks like we're building tension, but we're not in the highest tension day. Okay, so I'll keep looking all through the week around this, because it doesn't even look like by the 3rd we're in that highest tension. And Cliff did say within the first week. So there's still 4 days of the week left. Okay, so I'm not going to go all the way till that, because we can do that later in the week. Okay, but we've got as far as Friday here, and we don't see an event as big as what I was thinking would be indicated by that high value, that high spike in emotional value. So we're not there yet, even by the 3rd. So I'll leave it there with you. Sending you guys ravens. Love ya. Take care, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. So we're starting off with a soft yes. So it's not a hell yes, but there's absolutely truth to what you're saying. Okay, and then this 9 of Cups is interesting because it's the desire. Okay, so how would that fit in? It's somebody's wish that this all fits together. So that leads me to believe it might have been designed in the past. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If it's somebody's wish that it all comes together, a plan is working out for somebody.
Yeah. Well,
okay, now I think there's more also going on that we're not seeing. So you mentioned 3 things on our last show, Wednesday night show, and you just mentioned them again. And I feel like there's even more that we're not mentioning yet. There's going to be more things populating here all at the same time. Also, these down the middle indicate what the regular folks are seeing, and they're not hearing or seeing any of this. So they're completely oblivious if they're not watching channels like this. They haven't even heard of three-eye atlas. They haven't even heard of that message that's coming from deep outer space. How many light years away? Like, I don't know what you said there.
I think it was, hold on, let me go back. It's 10 billion years old.
Yeah.
The message. So it was actually sent 3 billion after the Big Bang. So like these are astronomical numbers when you think about this huge clock here. But again, if there is no time, it might as well be a split second ago, as everything is happening here in the now. That's why I'm saying that it seems like it's all connected somehow. Keep going.
Yeah. Now, this is interesting because we've got the Hermit. So that kind of answers my who desired it to all come together. So it was desired that it would all start showing up at the same time, and they're getting their wish, and that's the Alliance card.
Yeah.
And the Temperance card is universal timing. It has perfect timing. So it feels like the Alliance desired that, and the universe like it feels karmic and timely also. So it's like not only did the Alliance want that to be the case, but so did the universal knowing. I guess feels like it's time for us to know. So that's some heavy clout there when you got the Alliances rooting for this to really come out.
Right.
You keep saying maybe the governments are still going to cover it up, but I don't lump the Alliance in with the government.
No. Yeah. So it's coming out either way. So in a way, that's it's the soft yes to, we're going to know we're not alone here very soon. Like all of this is colliding, plus more that we're not yet aware of, is what you're saying.
And we already know, but even the normies, so this is down the middle, even the sort of the not in the know yet bunch. And soon to be in the know, we'll say it like that, so we can help them along there. They could even just be like, this is the spark that could really start them knowing as well.
And just so we're clear, I'm not sure there was a Big Bang. It could have been a bunch of little bloops. I think science is growing right now, but I'm just going by the clock that we're usually told here for parameters here as to the discussion we're having. Whether or not it started that way or not, I think is still very much open to debate. But that's fascinating. Leanne says, wow, the woo is getting wooier by the day. Yeah, apparently so. It's getting crazy. Hey, check that out. So yesterday, too, on the IAP show, on the pay-per-view, we had the crazy idea, Janine and I, to just randomly pick a person who was watching in the Discord chat, one of our Insider Access Pass members, to come on the show live and ask a question. And so we had a little bit of technical difficulties making it work, but we got it to work. And Monsieur Patel's question was relating to the whisper in the dark. And from his perspective, he had a really good question. And what came out there, too, was, holy shit, one, it's true. It's coming up. It was a big hell yes thing. But holy shit, are governments around the world going to panic about this? The fact that their population, which they're trying to control, is seemingly receiving messages from something else, some other entity, from space, who knows from what, and it would challenge their control system. So I thought that's also interesting when you put it all into the mix as to what's happening now and what perhaps is around the corner. And that kind of led us down the path of, why the military in DC right now? What really is that all about? Clearly, we understand that it's not because they're trying to get those violent crime offenders off the street. There's something way bigger than that happening. We talked about on this channel, of course, another researchers channel, about the tunnels on the ground. We talked about the Smithsonian, getting our history right. But this seems to be just the beginning. Trump is now talking about other cities, right? And doing the same thing in other cities. And I talked to Cliff the other day about what he thought of the data. He says, well, clearly they're pre-positioning for some turmoil. They're using this as a cover story. At the same time, they're getting the history right. They're probably clearing tunnels. But really the armed part of it, which is new here in the last week or two, we're getting more and more of these battalions being moved into place here who are going to be armed. When Janine pulled on that, it was specialized battalions being armed. So it wasn't necessarily being armed just to guard buildings. It was being armed to deal with the unknown, is what Janine was picking up on. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. Again, in the context of everything that's happening now, it appears that we're going down that route. And that, too, was in the WebBot data quite a bit ago, where we would have tanks in DC and perhaps around banks. And I asked Cliff about the bank stuff, and he says, yeah, well, there's an alien invasion, real or not, that's going to cause panic in the financial markets, and we're going to have a lot of turmoil on the streets, and perhaps those banks are there for that. And he says, or could have something to do with the financial transition and the turnover of that. And speaking of that, Janine and I polled yesterday, there was another question regarding that movie Zero or Day Zero with Robert De Niro, where he's the president and he's dealing with this big cyber attack. And whether or not that was kind of in the cards from the White Hats to wrestle over the electricity power grid system and also the financial system in one sweep. And we got a whole bunch of major arcanas. Yes, that is in the cards. Whether it happens or not, two different questions. But that's part of the plan right now as to how they could address some of the things here moving forward. So that could bring a lot of chaos in the streets as well, given why Trump now is putting military on the streets. So fascinating shows, guys. If you want to catch up on that, go check it out there on beyondmystic.net. Now, something else that was interesting on top of the whispers in the dark, I saw this after the show last night, and I'm like, oh, shoot, we should have talked about this. Scientists discover possible connection between the human brain and the cosmos on a quantum scale. And just timely enough, too, I can reply, duh. I'm going to do this crazy show with Jay Widener this Sunday night. This is the Wacky Woo, but a special edition, A Psychonaut's Journey. So this is going to be at 8 o'clock on Sunday. We're going to get into the psychedelics and attempt, and I say attempt here because there's far bigger minds and people who have done this way before us, including Terence McKenna, who was trying to explain how all of this works through his many, many years as a psychonaut. So we're going to dive into that on Sunday, share some personal stories with you, answer some questions also. But again, pushing the boundaries as to how we understand this reality, how it actually works, and how we can manipulate it, and what exactly is there in hyperspace when you cross that barrier there using psychedelics, and also in some cases, of course, endogenously produced DMT from our own body. All of these practices and Tantra and the Taoist methods as well kind of all tie into the same thing. So we're going to try to tackle that with you guys on Sunday night. And if you haven't seen my episode with Penny Kelly last Sunday, was a precursor to this show. So I recommend you go watch last Sunday's Wacky Woo first, and then join us, of course, for this one here on Sunday. And I promise you it's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be fun. Okay, so let's look at a little bit of the news here. So going back on that theme of chaos coming from space, Trump administration, and seemingly governments around the world here acting a little bit weird and perhaps militarizing in some cases. Trump now is alluding more and more to religions. And we're looking at this from a perspective of, is he kind of setting the stage for a conversation? Because if you look at Avi Loeb, one of the scientists who's out there here in the last couple of weeks since the discovery in July of Three-Eye Atlas, they seem to be bringing this religious connotation here to Three-Eye Atlas. And so it appears to be an attempt to bridge the ET connection with religions, if only to save religions when people realize that we're not alone here and the power structure could be dismantled basically overnight. And so I want to ask you that here right now too. Is there a push right now to bring the ET component underneath the tent of religions around the world as to not exacerbate the decline or the dismantling of our religious system? Is that an attempt that they're trying right now? Are they going to succeed at that attempt? Or are we, as many people fear, the minute we understand that we're not alone and there's ETs here, where all of this is really up for grabs, and it's a huge upheaval across the planet here, across all religions? Are they trying to save that somehow or manipulate that? Or what's going on with these narratives that we've been seeing here for the last 2 weeks?
Well, I don't know about save it. They've surrendered to the fact that it's likely going to go the way of the dinosaur kind of thing, because the death card is like, you hear the death rattle. When the death card comes up, something's dying, they know it. And it can't be stopped, but they want to like maybe move it in a direction or have something to do with moving it in a direction so it can recreate itself a different way. People are going to need to put that energy somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I feel like maybe some of the things they're saying could remind people of a real basic connection with spirit, so they don't just, everything just falls out the bottom. Because if you were, all of a sudden you realize that the religion, like the doctrine, I'm talking about the technical, like doctrines that you're following, if you read your doctrines in the certain religion you're in, don't fit at all with what's going to be exposed. And all of a sudden they're in question. Okay, maybe they're trying to move everybody to a deeper, something that could stay, or a thread they could hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
That could tie them back to, something they could understand. It feels like a diplomatic attempt at helping it evolve into something else in a more graceful way.
Is it possibly they know it's dying, so they're going to try to use that energy and transform it so that they don't lose the control that is afforded to them by the religious aspects here around the planet? Are they willing? They're willing to let go of the religion stuff, but not necessarily the control, and that's why they're putting this attention to maybe shift that energy into a new control system?
Oh, that feels like a whole other question.
Okay.
Because this one doesn't really answer that exactly. It just says people will need to shift into a whole new way of seeing religion.
Mm-hmm.
This card says they're going to have to. They could hang on to something. The 7, you're still hanging on to something. You're fighting for your right to be, but it'll be unique and individual, or somehow not, certainly not look like it looked before. That's going the way. Like I said, that's going to go away. Something's dying. They see it. Like the big organized religions, I think are going to come into question, the big ones with doctrines attached to them. This is a more natural card. So it's moving in this direction where you're going to have to find a more natural connected way, maybe even a more individual way. Okay, this guy's a Sag kind of energy. So the outcome is that the general population maybe moves in a direction where they can still hang on to a spiritual understanding, but it's going to be very unique to each person. This guy wouldn't follow anybody else's. Sages never follow doctrines. They find their own way. And I feel like we're all going to get moved over here. And maybe they're just trying to help move that along. That's kind of what this card layout looks like. But we could ask
if they're moving that along, then do clarifiers. Is that also an attempt to keep the control structure in place? Not necessarily the religion, but the control that comes from it.
Maybe something to do with finances.
Oh, that makes sense too.
Keeping a handle on the finances. So neither of these cards are really controlling, but she definitely likes, she has a vision of how she wants to manifest something, and she's really good at it. Okay, so this is where they're coming from. They have a vision of how they want to manifest it. And then the King of Wands, it's really out there and wants to be a big part of. So I feel like they are trying to put a stamp on it, like you're suggesting they are, but it's not so controlling.
Or it's a good thing.
Yeah,
the power structure goes, and then people not being under this weight or this blanket of religion now suddenly start to manifest abundance from themselves and become kings.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I feel like it's moving in a positive direction.
Okay.
And they're kind of helping it along a little with what they're putting in place.
That's fascinating. Okay.
I did notice that Trump, the words he says, he always goes with Jesus Christ as opposed to sort of other ways to talk about God, which is interesting. So I wonder if we're going to find out that there is an energy entity known as Jesus Christ. I mean, lots of people believe there is. Of course they do. But I wonder if he's nodding to something that'll help people bridge what will be lost with something they can hang on to move them over to a different way to be with it. Because this card is definitely, they're going to move in a unique direction, a more independent direction. And it feels like they're setting things up to help people do it. They've seen it coming. They've had to surrender. They know it's going to be difficult for people.
Right. Okay. Well, it would represent a huge fundamental shift in the way the planetary finances are done, because I mean the Vatican has played that huge role, and to some extent we still are under the impression that they're basically the trustee for all the souls and the property here on the planet for whoever's supposed to come back, right? So there's that aspect of it. We've talked about this before on how Trump and this administration and this new pope might be negotiating on humanity's behalf to extricate themselves to whatever that trusteeship actually looks like, what that original contract looked like. To do more shows on this. Go ahead.
My parents, my dad, I remember him every year sending a percentage of his year's income, about the same time he did taxes, to the Catholic Church. Okay, I wonder how many people still do that, and other big organizations, not just the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
like I feel like these guys are kept going. These really big organizations, and I'm not trying to offend people that are just trying to have their spiritual faith. I'm talking about the organization at the top, the ones that are, the corrupt leaders, the top echelon. And I'm not trying to, like, people get really mad at me. I'm not trying to say anything against good Christian people. I'm talking about the big club and organization we've discovered is debauched.
The control system behind it. Exactly. Yeah.
So all of that money stops going to these people because they realize they've been lied to.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And perhaps a lot of the money that they stole also could be redistributed. We've talked about this before, the Vatican's gold, some of these trusts that are thousands of years old. Who knows what's in there and how that could be used to further humanity's cause here moving forward. Okay, so let's go back. So we've talked about the religion here. Let's go back to these other cities. Trump iterating that today too, that after cleaning up Washington, D.C., there'd be other cities. He named them in here. He also had this huge rant on grass. It was kind of odd. Did you hear that one, Janine?
Nope,
I don't have the clip, but he's basically saying, "Oh, I know a lot about grass." Of course he does. He owns a lot of golf courses. And he's saying, in all of these cities, the grass is dead already. He says, "I know about the life of grass, and we're going to install new sprinkler systems, state-of-the-art stuff, and we're going to rebuild our parks and recreational stuff," and which is all cool and dandy. Well, when I heard that, I'm like, that sounds like a calm for something else, because he went on about it for a long time. At the end of the day, it's grass, right? And we're looking at, wait, are we sending the army for crime? Or are we sending the army because there's baby farms and tunnels, being trafficked? Are we talking about ETs at the Smithsonian? It kind of felt off for him to spend that much time on grass. So let's do a poll, Janine, on if there was a calm there, and if it was, what that was. Guys, let me know in the live chat. What do you guys think? Oh, somebody says decriminalizing grass. Well, yeah, I that could be it. Maybe. I don't think so. That's where Trump wanted to go with that particular calm. Although that could be in the cards for sure. But what's that calm, Janine? Let me see if I can find the actual one, and we'll play the clip and parse his words here.
It was definitely a calm with this card here. This is like a wake-up call. And it somehow ties back into the financial system.
Huh.
I wonder what grass could be like meaning. And I wonder about the gematria around what he's saying there.
When I hear grass, I always think of that saying, "Oh, the grass is always greener on the other side from your perspective, but when you get there, it's not really greener." So I got confused when he was talking about. Okay, don't say anything more. Leave the cards there. We'll play his clip, and then we'll come back and say, okay, maybe there's a little hint here into what he's saying. I hope I have the right one. Oh no, that won't play. Hold on a second. Let me try that again. You guys need the audio for this to work. This one here. Let's see if that works. Okay, I think we have it. All right.
I don't see it.
Can you hear it?
Nope, can't hear it or see it.
Okay. Now there's a little bit of a glitch here.
I see it now.
You see it now? Okay, so hold on. Let me just bring it back to the beginning, and let me know right away if you can't hear it.
One of the things we're going to be redoing is your parks. I'm very good at grass because I have a lot of golf courses all over the place. I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world. And we're going to be regrassing all of your parks, all brand new sprinkler systems, the best that you can buy, just like Augusta. It'll look like Augusta. It'll look like, more importantly, Trump National Golf Club. That's even better. But we're going to have all brand new, beautiful grass. Like everything else, grass has a life. Do you know that? Grass has a life. We have a life and grass has a life. And the grass here died about 40 years ago. So we're going to be rebuilding all of your parks, and it's going to happen fast. It's going to go up like a miracle. So
grass died 40 years ago. Okay. Clearly there's a comment in all of this. That's a lot of, and somebody should have to watch that video again and count all the times he says grass and maybe do the math on that too. There's something weird there. Okay, keep going, Judy.
Oh, I wonder if it has something to do with when we lost an ability financially and we're going to get it back again. So he's going to redo it and water our grass for us.
40 years ago, is that Glass-Steagall? I'm trying to remember what year that was, but I think it's more than 40 years ago. Not grass, but Glass-Steagall. I wonder financially what's something we would have lost 40 years ago. Oh, that's fascinating.
And this card does indicate like something that was taken away or lost gets replenished.
Huh.
and it's a desire of the like this looks like the alliance. It was their idea. So they're trying to replenish it, everything, make it green, healthy again, make us healthy again. Like this guy's, somebody's saying there on the
Well, because you just said finances. Typically, when you're in the red, you're in the negative. When you're in the green, you're positive. So maybe that's what he's saying. We're going to make you whole again, or the financial system whole again, or maybe contrary, not dealing in debt, which is red, and that would be on the green side. Yeah,
watering our grass, getting our parks green again, getting our. I don't know. I think that it's definitely a common. It has to do with a research, and it looks financial to me.
Okay. Well, we'll see. It's very interesting. Like these comms lately, it's so interesting to see where they're going. But clearly, things are moving faster and faster and faster. We can see it. They're not moving fast on the Epstein thing. The judge just denied the request of the Trump administration to unseal the files. And I saw another interview the other day. Somebody was saying that if Anthony Weiner's laptop would make its way into the public, that half of Congress would fall on that. So we're still on the we don't know yet on that front. But something weird is happening here too with Venezuela. Well, I'll play part of this clip here with Alex Jones, but they're saying basically that he's warning here that the U.S. is on the verge of declaring war with Venezuela. Apparently, we just sent some ships there yesterday and some troops. Something's happening there. We don't quite know in mainstream news what they're talking about yet. So let's play this clip, and we'll come back to the cards.
Well, it's not going to be quiet with Mexico and Venezuela. And I'm predicting on the current trajectory that the United States will start striking cartels in Mexico. And the Mexican president says it's an act of war. Well, go ahead and do something. And then Venezuela, very good chance you're going to see Maduro get his ass blown off.
It's interesting he's tying that into the fight against the cartels and the drug traffickers, which lofty goal. We all agree with that. We want to save our children here, and it starts there. If it's coming through the border, we can go get it before it crosses the border. So I understand that strategy from the Trump administration. But could that be a cover for something else, or these cartels could be a code word for something else in Latin America here, to where Trump is making that move? And I say, does that have anything to do with the ET front again? Because remember, the whole thing about the southern border wasn't just about illegal aliens, but it was also about maybe these clones coming in or these hybrids coming in. And now that we're securing the border, we're going on the other side to fix the problem also here before it gets to the border. Is that what we're seeing here? Or is that maybe a cover story for deployment that also has to do with their expectation here of what through Atlas and other ET stuff can be happening here in the late summer and fall, and they want to pre-position troops here in strategic places? What's going on, Janine?
It's more ET related right off the bat. We got the ET card.
Okay.
And the Hanged Man, so maybe something they've been waiting for, so that what they know is coming. Yeah, that's what it is. And you know what? It looks like they're really concerned with they don't know exactly what'll happen. So they don't have this one all dialed in. Whoa, look at these major this is nuts. Okay. The world card. They know that it'll take us to a whole nother level. And it takes the whole world to, like, anyone who's not in the know and is in denial that your governments are sketch and been sketch, your officialdoms need to come down, your banking systems been pillaging you, blah, blah. If anyone doesn't know that, I'm telling you, after this ET thing, everything's like, I don't think they're going to need the Epstein files are going to be like a joke compared to what's going to come out here, it looks like.
Yeah, there'll be small potatoes compared to everything else.
It changes everything. And, and they're a little concerned that it gets real warsy.
That seems to be what Cliff was telling me the other day, and he seemed to be reluctant to give me details. So leave it at that. He seems to be worried, and I think part of it is coming from the details. Part of it is coming from some of his contacts. People call him who know stuff, apparently, who work in some of these deep underground bunkers or in the Navy or whatever. He's talked about that before on his show. So, yeah. So there's the worry there. Huh. And there's a big ET component again.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. Let's pause that one. We'll come back to that in the next week or so. I'm sure there's going to be more to discover there. I saw some disconcerting news. I don't know how to say that in English. This one here. There's two, actually. Houston, we have a problem. Unvaccinated children born of past vaccination mothers, despite never carrying COVID, are dying now at 77% excess rate. That's a 24 Sigma event. That's crazy. And so there's two things I want to talk about. I want to talk about that one and this one here. Ozempic creator just got slammed with a what? $2 billion lawsuit. Over 1,800 people have been left permanently blind, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm reminded of the commercial. I just asked, and then they gave me a death shot. Like, it's so ridiculous. I'll get to Ozempic here in just a moment. But this whole thing here with the kids dying, like, are they targeting people right now who would otherwise be entering the planet to help shift the energies? Were these souls in fact negative somehow, and were they reinforcement for the bad guys and we're catching them that way? It's really hard to tell with some of these stuff, like who's behind all of this and what the real goal is here. Nevertheless, we're seeing excess death in babies now. It's heartbreaking for the parents, for sure. But what's really underlying here? Like, is it just as face value? Oh yeah, it's just more vaccine damage and there's nothing more to that. Or is there something of a temporal war happening here with the souls that were coming in right now who are being ejected just as they get into this planet? What's going on, Janine?
Well, it looks bigger than just, what did you say? Just more vaccine
COVID,
damage.
like vaccine injuries. Yeah.
No, it's bigger than that. And that's the world card. Okay. That feels to me like there's a protection energy to that card. It also talks about a gateway that like, it's almost like they're trying to prevent these souls from coming here. Somebody is. Somebody's trying to prevent the souls from coming here, or somebody put that into place to prevent souls from coming here. 4 and 6. I think it was supposed to be a lot worse. I think it's not nearly as bad. And maybe that what they're saying is the exaggerated version.
Could be.
Because this takes it down a little.
Okay.
From what you're hearing. So I feel like they might be now saying what it was supposed to be, but that got nipped in the bud here to some degree, maybe by things the Trump administration did, or the White Hat Alliance did, or all of the above did.
Okay, so for now, numbers are smaller. It's mitigated somehow in the plan. But was the plan to kill starseeds, positive babies for our timeline, or is the plan to kill reincarnated Rockefellers and, those gang?
It's definitely to kill the woo community, intuitives, and I'd so go with starseeds and spiritual and intuitive. That's who they were targeting.
That sucks. Wow. Okay. Now let's look at the flip side of that. Everybody who's having issues and potentially death issues here with Ozempic, like, they look like the Walking Dead. A lot of these people who took Ozempic, they lost a lot of body weight, muscle weight, apparently heart muscle size, brain size, like all these like weird things. So who knows how long they have it for. Some of the symptoms right now are going blind, but this could get a lot worse really, really quick. So let me ask you the same thing here too. Was this a coordinated attack? And again, is it to remove what what the cabal thinks as useless eaters, right? Or is this like a backfiring thing to where they're actually getting rid of problematic people in this spiritual war from the good side of things? Oh yeah, I saw Miley Cyrus. Somebody's asking. I don't know if that ad was real, but she looked weird as hell. Like, who the hell was that? I don't know. I think I sent that to Sarah the other day. So what do you see for Ozempic first, Janine? There.
That looks like a wake-up call. And again, we might be getting exaggerated reports. Okay, so interesting. And there also could be a way that this could get turned around. So I almost feel like this was done, like, or allowed to go at a smaller percent. Like, so I think it was created for the bad things you said, just to take out useless eaters. But then it was taken down, like nipped in the bud. So just like they did to the vaccines, I think they let some intermittent bad batches out, but nothing like would have happened if they'd have let the deep state do their thing in the timely fashion they were going to do it. That's why they speeded everything up. That's why things went the way they did. So they had to allow the plan to go out. They didn't have the deep state demolished in the back end as much as they could before the pandemic came.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you're following me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like this was one of those bad plans, and then they let some of it out. So they let some people get the bad batches of this stuff to wake people up to, big pharma is not your friend. These kind of things are never good for you. Like taking a pill to be skinny and look like some rock star who's in the club way. It's not a good idea.
There's no magic pill. You have to do the work. You have to sleep. You have to eat properly. Like, come on. Yeah, I know.
And then all the cards moving forward we're going to be stronger. There's a way to, even if you were on this thing for a while, you can get your health back. You'll need to work at it though. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to put one foot in front of the other, love yourself and work at it. Because part of loving yourself is doing the work and not thinking you're so desperate to get skinny. You got to take this really dangerous pill that, you know, is iffy, and we don't know what'll happen if we take it,
Yeah. Okay. Miley Cyrus. People are asking, leave the cards there for just a second. Maybe we'll come back to it here, but let me see if we can get to that picture. Like, is that weird?
Ooh.
Like, what the hell? What the hell is that?
Well, she's starving to death.
Yeah. Well, again, they're asking, like, is she on the Ozempic? Like, what the hell's happening here? So I don't know.
And in what universe is that considered beauty? Like, how did we get there where these fake lips, this horrifying skinniness is, and she's like presenting for this big company. Like, if that's what that company's representing, I'm horrified. I would be horrified if she was my daughter. My daughter did go through a phase where she was starving herself, and it was absolutely scary as a mother. It was the worst years of my life.
Yeah. Well, let's do some clarify. Well, let's just pull on her. I'm curious what's happening. Is this like a humiliation ritual kind of thing? Is she actually not well? Are they trying to glamorize this look here to make it normal for all those big people out there who look like they're the Walking Dead? Are we being conditioned to think that that's actually pretty? And what the hell's going on?
Well, that's been happening for years.
Yeah. Well, I always thought that the whole tranny stuff was, at least in part, to get us used to seeing humans with the wrong proportions. You know how there's a golden ratio between the hip, the waist, the head, the shoulders for women and men. Like, any biologist can tell you, looking at bones, that's a woman, that's a man, right? But they've made that so confusing for us now that we think all humans are disproportionate now, so that we would accept some of those clones, some of those ET hybrids that are here that don't look exactly human, but we don't question them anymore because our whole compass as to what an actual man and a woman looks like is completely gone. We're shocked now with all these fake imagery we've been subjected to for the last couple of decades. So I wonder what's going on with her right now. Humiliation ritual. She's sick.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
And to that, Jean-Claude, they wanted to also let their own people come out who'd been all of the kids that they transgendered, okay, from their own families, all the royals transgendered, several members of each royal family. And you can look back in history, it goes way back, even before they had the doctors that could do the work they do now. Then they were just literally counting on the fact that no one saw these people much out in public. Okay, so the really older pictures, like 100 years old.
Yeah. They used to hide them away in the basement.
They literally just look like boys.
Yeah.
Like with funny wigs on and stuff. Yeah, it's just awkward and horrifying. Right, and the poor kids. Like my heart goes out to those people born into those families. Okay, so we're looking at Miley. So we've got the 9 and really stressed out. So she looks really stressed out. Like I really think that this is presented as part of the war effort to teach us, all of these things we're talking about and get us all talking about it. Right. Also our whole lifestyle. Like, so you think, oh, she's this big star, but you start looking into it. She's basically enslaved. She's enslaved to a system. She's like probably the most unhappy person ever. Like these people are enslaved. They might appear to have money, but really they don't have their freedom. They don't have anything. She doesn't have her health anymore, so she doesn't have anything. I feel like it's not so directed. It's more like they're showing you just what happens here when you belong to this big system.
Karma's a bitch, and it's coming for you, Janine.
Yeah, well, bring on the karma for me because I feel really good about my actions.
Oh, me too. Yeah. No, I'm talking about the other side.
Karma.
I'm talking about the other side, man. It's coming fast for them.
It is.
Like, holy crap.
Yeah, hey, so there's the karma card. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be taken into consideration also who was born into this.
Yeah. And there's slaves into this too. Yeah, some of them.
Once they find out, what do they do then?
Yeah.
Like, do they still agree?
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows, right? Oh, yeah. Coco's saying here, yeah, it's just like Britney Spears. Like,
yeah,
we feel bad for some of these people. Some of them you can clearly tell, like, they go from being the victim to then enabling this into others there. They've made the decision at some point to, again, maybe they were coerced too. It's hard to know if you're not in their shoes, but yeah. All right. It's funny you have the karma card there. Guys, coming up next week, brand new show, Beyond Mystic, Beyond Karma, with Crystal. She's launching that. I think it's a Tuesday. Right now I have it at 1 p.m., but I believe Coco scheduled it for 4 p.m. in the afternoon, if not 5 p.m. It's going to be a fascinating show. Brand new concept show here on Beyond Mystic. We have 4 or 5 of those coming up here in the next month or two. We're expanding again. You don't want to miss this one. This is going to be the inaugural show. Crystal was already on with Ashala this Tuesday night on the As Above, So Below show. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out on Tuesday. And you'll get to see how amazing Crystal is and her quotient emotional maturity. How do you say quotient émotionnel? Emotional IQ. She has an amazing emotional IQ. Kind of like a bedside manner in the way she presents her information, the way she reads her cards also. Very intuitive person. And we're going to be tackling this karma stuff with you guys and making it personal also, to where a lot of you guys on the show will be able to ask questions about, hey, I'm dealing with this karmic loop right now in my life with this particular person. What are the choices in front of me? What's the universe kind of telling me? What do I need to hear about this, learn about this? All these things too. So she's going to help us navigate There's a very interesting question of karma, how that relates to other races here on the planet, groups of people having karma, how we're in competition, again, in karma wars with perhaps other entities, as Cliff was talking about in his show. So don't miss it. This is going to be next Tuesday. And Coco says, yes, 4 p.m. So yes, Coco, my boss, she told me it's going to be at 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Merci, Coco. So join us for that one. It's going to be a really, really cool show for you guys and very interactive. And Crystal also wants to do part of that show to celebrate success stories in communities. And I thought it was really cool because mostly when we do decodes of the news, I mean, mostly it's bad news, right? Like people ask us all the time, Janine, look at this, JC, look at this. And predominantly people are worried about some of the things they see and they want us to decode it, right? Yeah. And so part of the things that Crystal wants to do with this new show also is talking about good karma and how people at the individual level, sometimes a small group collective, can really make changes on the planet. And we're going to be focusing on some of those success stories too, again, to give us that hope, that encouragement that it's not unsurmountable. And as Penny Kilby and I were addressing last Sunday, resistance is absolutely not futile. We can make things go, whether you're that one person who stands up and says, no, this far, no further, or whether you're a group. And so anyways, going to be a really cool show. So check it out on Tuesday. I'm very excited for it. And a big welcome there to Crystal. Coming onto the network. Okay, so a couple of other things we needed to talk about. Janine, let me scroll back here. Where did that go? So we talked about day zero earlier. Okay, so for Trump right now, speaking of the news, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So just want another lawsuit here. Let me see if I can get to that thing. So New York Appeals Court has struck down Letitia James's unprecedented $465 million civil penalty against Trump. Really good news. He's winning. But on the same day, they're announcing this. Janine, now we're hearing the mainstream news say, Trump is an insider and he's trading on inside information and he's set to make $3.4 billion of profit here because of the decisions he's making and the companies he's directly impacting with those decisions. I want to hear this again. People sent me this earlier today. JC, can this be? This is on the heels, of course, of Trump saying, hey, maybe we should investigate Nancy Pelosi. How is it possible that she has a better track record than all of these ETF funds? Anyways, so they're fighting back is what I think here. I want to play this clip to show you how crazy these guys are. But at the same time, there might be something to it in the sense that, hey, when you're in political office, whether you're a president or a congressman or a senator, maybe investing in some of these products that you and your vote can directly affect should be a no-no. And I think this is ultimately where Trump wants to go. So I'm thinking that this might be a white hat op to where they're bitching at him for something, and he's just going to go overboard with all of this legislation to kind of remove this cancer or these vipers or these, well, how do you call it, parasites that are living on top of the system here. So let's play this MSNBC clip here. Try not to puke, and then we'll come back and we'll ask some questions.
Since January, the president's bought more than $100 million worth of corporate and municipal bonds. That is according to filings from the Office of Government Ethics. This kind of active trading by a president is unprecedented. It means Donald Trump stands to benefit or suffer losses, depending on how these bonds perform. But these bonds include banks, and they include companies, and they include local governments that are literally directly impacted by the decisions that Donald Trump is making in the White House. Tim, is this classic Donald Trump? You are extremely familiar with how this gentleman works as a businessman.
It is. Well, it's it's not even Donald Trump working as a businessman. It's Donald Trump working as an insider trader. It's Donald Trump in a position to influence the interest rates that determine the value of the bonds he's buying. It's that simple. The other thing is, it is a drop in the bucket. The $100 million in bonds he bought is a drop in the bucket in terms of the grift that's going.
Compared to Nancy Pelosi over her number of decades in office, maybe? I don't know. I would have finished that phrase. Let's keep going.
On in the White House around cryptocurrencies. His net worth, I think, jumped by more than $2.5 billion based on paper, but it's on cryptocurrency assets he holds at a time when his family had absolutely no experience in the business before he became president. It's a product that he disparaged as a scam.
Okay. So we get the drift there. My gut feeling, this is a white hat op. So
let's check.
Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah.
I think this is going to backfire horribly, but let's see. And I don't think it's going to backfire on Trump. But let's see what the cards say. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's creative. Mm-hmm. That's a creative card and a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. Oh, yeah. It's absolutely going to backfire on these guys. Okay, they're the ones that are, it totally outs a whole bunch of things and could even have something to do with the going down of the banking system. Somehow it's tied into that. So Trump's going to come out looking rosy.
He's been on a roll lately. Like he's winning all his lawsuits. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to put an end to something that's been going on for a really long time. So this will pretty much go the exact opposite way those guys were saying. It'll probably out all of them for doing it. Mm-hmm.
I was looking for an interview. I sent Andy Scheckman earlier today. Let me see if I can find it. Apparently, there's an interview that's going to be hitting very soon. Do I have it? Andy, is he here? Maybe it's on this file. Hold on. Let me see if yeah, it's this one here. Daniela Cambone. Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can bring it to the screen for you guys here. You did? Okay, let's play that.
I shared it too. Yep.
You did too? Okay, let's play this for the audience members. Economic kind of channel. She interviews a lot of people in finance. Very well spoken, respected, and she gets a lot of the mainstream also financial analysts on her show, and she gets some of the woo people too. In this particular case, it seems very woo. And that's what caught my eye. So let's play the clip. As Janine said, here is very interesting, and then we'll try to ask some questions on it. There you go.
Hi, guys. Just walking, taking a breather here from work. I just filmed a juggernaut of an interview that I can't wait to share with you. It's going to come out next week because it will take time to piece together. It just blew my mind. So basically, I have a new guest on that's basically lifting the lid on a major Ponzi scheme happening with the property taxes we're paying, which he says is fraud and unconstitutional. And he has all the receipts and facts to prove it. He says this has the possibility to bring down the entire financial system, and it will make 08 look like a walk in Central Park. He also says that my other guests, Frank Giustra, Gerald Chalente, are right on the money, but it's way worse than what they're even saying. So my mind is just blown right now, and I had to share that with you all, but I can't wait for you to see it. I'm super proud of this interview.
I hope she releases it sooner than later before somebody deletes it from her computer.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So DeSantis, was it last week? He's suggesting here that Florida should abolish property taxes. Why should government why should people pay rent basically to the government to live in their own homes? And I think Texas either just passed it or introduced a bill, is it yesterday or the day before, for the same thing, to remove property taxes.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting in light of this whistleblower that's coming out with this information. Let's do a pull on this, Janine. Property taxes. Are we about to see the biggest change in perhaps our lifetimes here? And a huge revelation of how, as she's saying here, it's unconstitutional, it's illegal. Are we going to go into a very different route here moving forward very soon as it pertains to property taxes? And how that ties into bringing down the financial system, she says. And she said making 08, she's describing the financial crisis of 2008, like a walk in the park, she says. Huge ramifications. And for those of you asking again, that was Daniela Camboni. Let me see if I can bring that link down in the live chat for you guys if you want to go check out her channel here.
She's definitely got some big intel.
Right?
right? So see, that's moving out of troubled water through information. So swords, thoughts and words, and clarity. There's an eagle view with that card. You get a big, so that someone's got a really big perspective on it, and they've definitely got good information because the strength card is really powerful. It's a major arcana. Maybe they've been struggling to get this out to the right, out in the right way. Maybe they had a hard time shopping around looking for who to have that interview with, or maybe they were even fighting inside themselves whether they should like put themselves in harm's way to put this out there, kind of thing. Let's see. Also, it could be part of the war we're in is being fought over information like this, so that makes sense that it's big. And it could take down something like the cabal banking system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's interesting. Now we've got this Two of Wands. So that's looking from a safe perspective. So for now, she's safe. It's not out there. She's looking at it from a safe perspective. This guy feels safe, but things get really tricky. I would agree that she should, I hope she has safeguards and maybe someone watching over her.
Mm-hmm.
Things will get a little stressful. This card's stressful. Doesn't necessarily say a bad thing will happen, but she could get some threats or things could get tricky or somebody could try to break into her house yeah. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Cups there. So Queen of Cups looking at something in the 8. So it's I don't know if it entirely takes down the system, but it should do some collateral damage.
Okay. Somebody's asking, is she talking about the U.S. or Canada? Oh, she's definitely talking about the U.S. There's no such rhetoric yet here in Canada, but we'll see. Let me just bring up, before you read those clarifiers, people were asking, this one is the quote from DeSantis here, wishing to abolish property taxes in Florida. And then this is the one for Texas just in, I think it was today. Or yesterday, the Texas legislature will now move toward eliminating property taxes, according to state Republican Brian Harrison. So this is on the move. It's not a done deal, but a lot of rhetoric and a lot of push right now happening at the same time as this Wu person is talking about how it's not even legal to begin with. Janine, keep going with those clarifiers.
Yeah. So I was asking, like, first of all, is it what the person's bringing legit, which we got that absolutely. And also this the person was asking about Canada. So I pulled 2 more. So I feel like down the road, the same is true for Canada. So we have similar thing going with so the Ponzi scheme would extend to Canada, but it might take us longer than the US to, put the big hit on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely with this government, because this government is going in the opposite way of trying to basically tax your unrealized gains. So they're not removing your property taxes. They're going even further, going after the value in your house on top of it. So for now, anyways, Pierre Poilievre just won his by-election last night or the night before. So he's back officially now in the House of Commons. I'm assuming there's still some procedure to be done here for him to be the leader of the opposition. But interestingly enough, as he won his election, he's making the news on something that happened in Ontario. There was a man 2-3 nights ago who woke up to an intruder in his house, an armed intruder, clearly with ill intent. The man of the house decided to defend his family, also using a weapon, and the police charged the homeowner with aggravated assault. And how is that possible, Janine? So there is a legal fund being set forward. If you guys go to Rebel News, you'll probably find the links to that. There's limited information as to what actually occurred. Of course, they don't want to trap anybody here before the case is heard before the court. So, but nevertheless, it's a weird story that got Premier Doug Ford back in front of the camera on this very subject. You remember last month, Premier Doug Ford, somebody tried to steal his cars in his own driveway. And of course, he has protection. He's got the OPP and Secret Service or equivalent here in Ontario, who protect them, who thwarted the car robbery at his home. But at that time, Premier Rob Ford brought up the subject of castle doctrine or castle law here in Canada, that people should have the right to defend their homes without any reproach, right? And so now he's at it again today because of this particular case, saying, hey, that's absolutely crazy. You should be able to defend your house, full stop, he says. And he made a few anecdotes suggesting that he knew some people who, if you broke into their house, you'd be in really bad shape. So he got into that. But Pierre Poilievre kind of echoed the same sentiment here. So it was interesting that Ford brought it up because it's not a provincial matter. Last time Ford brought this up, Premier Ford here of Ontario, he kicked it up to the feds to look at it. Carney didn't even respond to it. But now we have Pierre Poilievre coming back in the House, opposition, talking about now this castle doctrine. And in some instances, Janine, I understand that this is it's long overdue. Like the criminals have more rights than the homeowners in a lot of cases here in Canada. But I feel there's more than meets the eye to this one too. I feel that they're preparing this for the mentality of people to be able to defend. Again, I'm just going to go back to what Clefai's been saying for almost a year now. Practice armed self-defense daily. It's for a reason, and it's not necessarily for people who want to steal your bread or to steal your car. Something is around the corner here, and perhaps this whole rhetoric around castle doctrine has to do with setting the mindset for the population also here to maybe stay on a higher alert and be ready to defend themselves here. Because if we're seeing the things that we're seeing and the government acting the way they're acting now, prepositioning military everywhere, it's because they're expecting chaos. And at a certain point, if they're expecting chaos, there's only so many of them that can come and help you when you're in trouble, meaning you got to help yourself and defend yourself. Is that really what's perhaps overlying happening here on the bigger picture behind all of this, Janine? Let's do a poll on that.
I got the distinct feeling that whole thing was staged, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't read on it yet.
That's very possible.
Yeah, just to bring all of this up, right?
Yeah.
But let's have a look.
Mm-hmm. I'll show you this one here. And again, the wording was a little off to me, and I responded to this person. Breaking news, Pierre Poilievre teases. I don't want a politician to tease me. I know I want very serious politicians. Anyways, this guy says Pierre Poilievre is teasing, potentially, imagine that, un pléonasme vicieux, I guess in French, endorsing castle law and says Canadians deserve the right to defend themselves. Yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't be teasing about that. I'd be very serious about presenting that as a motion here in front of government and try to force Carney here into action. Teasing, not necessarily. We need real action here. So, but Janine, bigger picture here, are they asking us to be prepared to defend ourselves? What's going on?
Well, first of all, it doesn't look like what I thought. So I was thinking it was a fake.
Right.
The story of the guy defending himself. It's not. It's real. Okay, so we got the 3 of Wands here, and we've got the 10. So they're taking an opportunity to look at it and change the law. So make legal changes more for the people in the positive direction. So definitely moving in that direction, looking at it. It's almost like they're jumping on the bandwagon and going, okay, good opportunity. Let's move this. Okay, but somehow they're going to be up against hardship. Like, I got to pull some clarify. Does this mean we're going to be in hardship? So we have to defend ourselves, like you asked what Cliff said?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way I asked the question was more about, is even the thing true? So I don't think the answer is in this layout.
So the thing is true. It's not fake or contrived. That's the first answer. You wanted that because you had that in your mind. Oh, I think this is a fake thing. Yeah. So this actually happened. Okay. Now the question is, as it's happening and we're seeing politicians bring up castle law or castle doctrine, so to where people are allowed to defend themselves, which you think it should already be the law. It's so weird that we have to talk about that and fight for that right to defend yourself. When there's an armed intruder in your house, I'm sorry, I don't have any questions. If you're armed in my house at 3 a.m., you're not supposed to be there. You're not borrowing sugar at 3 a.m. You have ill intent, and your rights stopped at the door as soon as you got into my house, right? So, anyways, is it somehow related either by universe or somebody piggybacking on this right now, bringing this castle doctrine thing up to educate people to hear that they have to start preparing to be able to defend themselves here, whether that's from people stealing their cars or something else that the military is also preparing for here in DC and all these other cities around the world.
So there's a yes in what you're saying, but it's further down the road.
Okay.
Maybe the response right away isn't what you're saying, but it becomes that. So the response from the Canadians we've heard from, so Poliver and Ford, maybe that's not necessarily, maybe they're not talking about that, or that wasn't the intent. But down the road, I feel like in the next month and a half or two, that becomes the truth. You will, there could be instances where you're going to need to defend yourself, or maybe they start pushing for that sort of thing. Like it feels like that's coming, but they're not there yet.
Not there yet.
They're talking about us ending something the way it's been and moving something forward that's been stuck for a long time. Maybe this is something they've been trying to bring forward for a long time.
Well, Doug Ford got a little bit of a backlash from the CBC. They were calling it misinformation when he was addressing this castle law, castle doctrine here. Again, if you guys go to Rebel News, let me just scroll very quickly here. Man facing charges for defending his home. That's probably the video you want to see. No, there's no video to that one. Where did it go? Oh, it's probably their website. Hold on. Let's see if I can grab this for you guys. It's not loading, of course. Is there a video here? Yeah. Do you want me to play part of this clip, Janine? Just
Sure.
for the audience? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go to a different screen here. Just a sec. I think we could probably snatch that from their website. There you go.
I have an emergency announcement for you. This morning, I saw a crazy news story that a homeowner in the town of Lindsay, Ontario, was asleep at night at 3 a.m. and someone broke into his house. There was an altercation. Police came and they charged the homeowner with assault and other serious crimes. The homeowner who was defending himself. I couldn't believe it. I put out a tweet saying, if anyone knows this man, have him email me immediately and we will help him. Someone showed that email to him, that tweet to him, and he got in touch with me, and I just got off the phone with him. His name is Jeremy McDonald, and I'm not going to talk about the details that we spoke about, other than to say the person who broke into his home is a serial criminal, well known to police. It is astonishing to me that we do not have what's called the castle doctrine here. You break into someone's home, their home is their castle, and you do so at your own risk. For police to charge him is an upside down version of morality. We've got to help him. I talked to Jeremy, and here's what we agreed to do. Number one, we're setting up.
Yeah, so they're going to set up a defense fund there. They're going to interview the guy and put some pressure on this moving forward. So check that out. The link there is in the chat, rebelnews.com/castle_law_now. If you just type that into Google, Castle Law Now from Rebel News, you'll get to that page also. And if you're interested in supporting that fellow and what seems to be common sense of being able to defend your own home, then please do go check it out. And I'm kind of interested too to maybe interview him. I'll watch the interview first to see what this fellow looks like there. I don't know him. I haven't heard much of his story. They said that they charged him for other stuff too, so I don't know what those are yet. We'll see what where that goes. But generally speaking, I agree with the context. If there's an armed intruder in your house, Practice self-defense, armed self-defense daily, guys. Man, that was the show. Holy shit, we're already past the 1 hour mark. Janine, we have this pyramid to give away here tonight. I mentioned that at the beginning of the show. Let me bring that up on the screen for the audience.
Hôm nay nhìn thấy những người triệu tập ở đây đã khiến nàng thất vọng rồi. Bây giờ ngay cả một gia tướng nhỏ nhỏ trong vương phủ mà giọng điệu cũng lớn như vậy, trong lòng nhất thời thấy không vui. Lữ đại bồng trì xì cười nói: công dân nhà ta đương nhiên là không phải chịu tội này, chẳng qua là ta. Gã vỗ ngực một cái ngạo nghễ nói: nếu công chúa nhìn chúng ta cũng không muốn làm một phò mã. Vừa dứt lời thì đến cả công chúa Bính Thuần cũng không vui, những cao mày liễu cả giận nói: làm phò mã chính là phúc khí phải tu cả mấy đời, có gì không tốt chứ. Lữ đại bồng trì cười ha ha vung tay nói: được rồi, hai tiểu tử các ngươi thì hiểu cái gì chứ, muốn tìm người thì tìm người đi. Đại nhân nhà ta hôm nay lấy vợ, ta phải vội về phủ hầu hạ đại nhân đây. Làm phò mã tốt, làm phò mã ra thì mỗi tháng phải cầm túi gạo đi lãnh tiền quân. Có bản lĩnh lớn hơn nữa cũng không thể làm quan được. Cả đời không tiền đồ gì, là một nam nhân chỉ dựa vào vợ thì có gì tốt chứ. Người nói coi, như là cưới vợ đi, nhưng người ta sống trong cung, muốn gặp mặt nhau cũng giống như là ngưu lang trước lửa vậy. Vậy thì có khác gì với cô độc đâu chứ. Đã không thể nạp thiếp, lại không thể bỏ vợ. Làm đàn ông mà nhìn thấy vợ thì phải khom người vái chào, hốt hớt muốn chết. Trương Diên Linh vội ho lên một tiếng nói: Đình Nhi, chúng ta đi thôi. Khoan đã, công chúa Bính Thuần giận rồi, phẫn nộ chỉ vào chóp mũi của Lưu Đại Bồng Truy nói: người thì biết gì chứ? Được cái công chúa Bính Thuần thiên kiểu bá mị là mỹ nhân nhất đẳng trong nhất đẳng. Người nói làm phò mã không tốt, làm phò mã không tốt thì sẽ có nhiều người đánh vỡ đầu tranh giành nhau như vậy sao? Lưu Đại Bồng Truy ôm mộng cười to nói: tiểu tử ngươi thật biết đùa mà. Công chúa Bính Phúc đẹp thì ta biết, đại nhân của ta từng khen ngợi, nói công chúa Bính Thuần và Văn Tâm phu nhân của chúng ta khí chất tương đương. Đừng nhất tên cô nương cũng nói như vậy. Nếu thực sự giống như Văn Tâm phu nhân của chúng ta thì chắc chắn là rất đẹp, nhưng mà đẹp thì có thể làm cơm ăn sao? Người tự mình nhìn đám phế vật bên kia đi, được mấy người có tài. Những người trúng tuyển phò mã này không có một ai mà công gia chúng ta vừa ý cả. Cả một ngày công gia chúng ta nắc đầu đến sắp thành trống bòi rồi. Tiểu tử à, nói cho ngươi biết nha, trong 100 người có bản lĩnh thi cử nhân đậu tiến sĩ thì có 99 người không nguyện ý làm phò mã đó. Những đại hộ có tiền có thế cũng không ai nguyện ý làm phò mã. Nhà hoàng thượng cái gì cũng tốt, chỉ có làm phò mã không tốt thôi. Được rồi, ta cũng không có thời gian ở đây nói rõ những đạo lý này với người đâu. Hôm nay đại nhân chúng ta lấy vợ chính là lấy Văn Tâm phu nhân. Văn Tâm phu nhân và công chúa xinh đẹp như nhau, nhưng người ta hiền lành biết bao chứ. Lấy về nhà thật sự có thể là một người vợ, không giống với lấy công chúa là lấy một tấm bảng về nhà. Không việc gì thì đi mau đi, đừng có lăn lộn ở đây nữa. Nếu thực sự chọn chúng người không muốn lấy cũng không được. Vậy thì cả đời này chẳng phải là xong rồi sao? Lúc Đại Bồng Truy đánh giấm xong rồi thì dưng dưng đắc ý quay lại tiền đình, làm cho tiểu công chúa Bính Thuần tức đến giờ chân, nắm chặt tay căm giận nói: buồn cười, nói công chúa hoàng gia trở thành nữ tử không ai thèm, dưng lăng dạy hạ nhân như vậy sao? Thật là nói sằng nói bậy mà. Sắc mặt công chúa Bính Phúc lại trắng bệch, nàng chỉ biết sau khi công chúa thành thân thì phải sống trong tập vương phủ, phu thê không thể thường xuyên gặp nhau, nhưng nàng không lo cơm áo, lại là nữ tử quý như tiền tuế, học vấn không cao thì tiếp tục cố gắng. Cho nên trước này cũng không thể nghĩ được nhiều vấn đề như vậy. Trong kịch nói công chúa chia phò mã không tìm được một người anh tài kiệt xuất sao? Hóa ra cách nhìn của dân gian đối với công chúa là như vậy. Khó trách những hạ nhân trong tập vương phủ đều coi thường phò mã. Cho dù bọn họ có ăn mặc đẹp đẽ thế nào đi chăng nữa, hóa ra xuất thân của bọn họ vốn không cao minh. Khó trách những người ứng tuyển lúc nãy lại thô bỉ không chịu nổi. Thì ra những người tài hoa hơn người chân chính đều hy vọng làm quan làm tướng. Thiếu niên gia cảnh sung túc cũng không muốn chịu trói buộc này. Trước giờ chưa từng có người nào dám nói thẳng chuyện này với công chúa. Những lời này của Lưu Đại Bồng Truy thực sự là một đả kích quá lớn đối với một công chúa cao ngạo kiêu căng, luôn tự cho mình là thiên tri kiều nữ mà. Sự chênh lệch tâm lý cực lớn đã giúp nàng đột nhiên hiểu ra, vốn dĩ cho rằng bản thân mình là thiên tri kiều nữ, là của quý trong lòng của thiếu niên tuấn kiệt trong thiên hạ, nhưng hóa ra người muốn lấy nàng đều là những con sâu gạo không có chí hướng, tài cán kém cỏi, muốn dựa dẫm vào bồng độc phò mã, hồi môn của công chúa để thanh nhàn cả đời. Người tuổi trẻ tài cao chân chính lại e sợ tránh không kịp, ngay cả gia tướng phủ công gia vô cùng thô bỉ vừa rồi cũng... Trước mặt lại có hai thiếu niên trúng tuyển đi vào, vui mừng hớn hở, đắc chí tự mãn đi vào hậu đường. Công chúa Vĩnh Phúc đột nhiên sinh lòng chán ghét, sợ chán ghét đến cực độ. Thiếu niên trước mặt diện mạo thế nào, thân phận ra sao, có tài cán gì, nàng căn bản không muốn chú ý. Nàng chỉ biết những người trẻ tuổi tụ tập trong căn phòng này không có một ai thực sự đến vì nàng. Vĩnh Phúc chẳng qua chỉ là một tờ chiếu mệnh mà hoàng thượng ban cho thôi. Cưới nàng chính là tiếp nhận một tờ chiếu mệnh, lấy được một chức quan. Nam nhân mà mình mặc áo cưới, phủ khăn đỏ, vui vẻ hoan hỉ phó tác trung tân đại sự, chỉ xem mình như một chén cơm vàng mà hoàng thượng ban cho thôi. Thật ra Vĩnh Phúc vẫn nghĩ phu thê nhà bình thường, trước khi cưới gả cũng không biết chút gì về tướng mạo, tính tình, phẩm chất của đối phương. Đều là vào động phòng trước rồi sau đó nảy sinh tình cảm yêu thương nhau sâu sắc, bạc đầu tới già. Nam nhân mà công chúa tìm cũng hẳn sẽ chịu được. Có điều, bởi vì thân phận của công chúa cho nên làm trượng phu cũng rất ít dám trêu đùa thân thiết. Thêm vào việc một năm khó gặp nhau được 2 lần, do đó xác suất công chúa và phò mã có thể ân ái hạnh phúc đích thực là ít nhất. Hôn nhân của các nàng vững chắc nhất, bất kể là phú quý hay là bần cùng, chia lìa bao lâu, trước sau chỉ có một vợ một chồng, không có lấy một thị thiếp. Xét từ góc độ này thì hôn nhân của các nàng hạnh phúc nhất, đẹp đẽ nhất, tình cảm hẳn cũng là chân thật nhất. Nhưng các nàng thực sự hạnh phúc sao? Công chúa Vĩnh Phúc bỗng nhiên không hăng hái nữa, cũng không quan tâm mình sẽ gả cho ai nữa. Thân phận công chúa cao quý đến thế nào, ngay từ lúc nàng sinh ra thì đã được hưởng thụ rồi, là tôn vinh mà tất cả nữ tử trong thiên hạ đều ao ước. Nàng có được thứ mà những nữ nhân khác vĩnh viễn không thể nào có được, thì đương nhiên nàng cũng phải mất đi thứ gì đó. Chúng ta đi thôi. Vĩnh Phúc không vui nói. Được, chúng ta đến phủ uy quốc công, nhìn thử coi Dương Lăng đang làm trò gì. Thế tử của hắn chẳng phải đã được phong làm cáo mệnh nhất phẩm từ lâu rồi sao? Sao lại có một văn tâm gì đó nữa? Mới không tin nào có thể sánh ngang bằng tỷ tỷ. Kiếm Dương Hầu vừa nghe thì kêu khổ không ngừng, vội bước lên nói: Công chúa điện hạ của ta, chúng ta quay về sớm một chút đi. Dương Lăng làm thiếp cũng được, lấy thề cũng được, nào có chuyện công chúa đến tận nhà chúc mừng chứ, không hợp với lễ mà. Công chúa Vĩnh Thuần cười tươi như hoa nói: Cuộc Kiểu ai nói là công chúa đến nhà chứ? Người đến đó chúc mừng là Kiểu, không phải bọn cháu. Xem Dương Lăng lấy vợ. Trong lòng của công chúa Vĩnh Phúc bỗng dưng càng không thoải mái. Nàng phẩy tay áo tức giận nói: Tú Tình, muội không về thì tự mình đến phủ quốc công đi, tỷ hồi cung. 10 ngón tay thon dài lặng lẽ nắm chặt lại, móng tay đâm vào lòng bàn tay đau đớn. Đây là đại sự chung thân, là hạnh phúc cả đời của ta. Cứ để mặc người ta sắp đặt sao? Ta nên làm gì đây? Ta nhất định phải nghĩ cách mới được. Công chúa Vĩnh Phúc vừa đi vừa âm thầm hạ quyết tâm. Lúc gần vượt quy phủ ngồi kiệu lớn 16 người kiêng đi vào nội xưởng Tây Sơn, có ý đồ tiền hô hậu ủng đánh đòn phủ đầu vào xưởng đất nội xưởng với thăng chức Ngô Kiệt. Chỉ đáng tiếc lần này ông ta uổng công rồi. Ngô Kiệt căn bản không có chút uy phong gì. Thế ông ta vừa cung vừa kính, danh sách nội xưởng, thế ước làm ăn của nội xưởng và hoàng thân quốc thích. Ông ta cần cái gì thì đưa cho cái đó, toàn bộ đều đã chuẩn bị chỉnh tề rồi, làm cho ngươi không nhìn ra có chút khuyết điểm nào. Những tân tiến mà Lưu Cần dẫn đến từ Ti Lễ Giám được Lưu Cần sắp xếp vào trong nội xưởng ngay tại chỗ, nắm giữ những vị trí quan trọng. Ngô Kiệt không chỉ không phản đối mà còn dẫn theo đám đáng đầu cử hành nghi thức hoan nghênh long trọng nữa. Mời các vị đáng đầu, thiên hộ, thiếp hình quan mới nhậm chức phát biểu vài lời khi nhậm chức. Đến cả Lưu Cần ra sức làm ồn cũng thấy ngượng ngùng. Ôi, người trong thiên hạ nịnh nọt có ai không nghĩ cho tiền đồ của mình chứ? Dương Lăng rơi đài rồi, người vừa đi thì trà cũng lạnh. Vốn dĩ cho rằng muốn thuyết phục Ngô Kiệt cũng phải bỏ công rất lớn. Ngờ đâu Ngô Kiệt ngoài mặt tỏ ra trung thành tận tâm với hắn lại là người đầu tiên phản bội hắn, thực sự khiến người ta chê cười, khiến người ta nguội lạnh trong lòng bạn. Lần này Lưu Cần ngược lại sinh lòng đồng cảm với kẻ thù cũ của lão là Dương Lăng. Lưu Cần vốn không phải là người dễ dàng tin tưởng người khác như vậy. Nhưng những hành động của Ngô Kiệt bày ra trước mắt, nếu nói là giả, nhưng mà công việc lại không phải giả. Hai chồng danh sách dày cộp của nội xưởng không thể nào làm giả được. Người nằm vùng của lão chỉ cần ra tay thì biết được là thật hay giả ngay.